Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Let's wait a couple more minutes.
Sure, Ulas.
All right, in the interest of time, let's start the meeting. So as usual, we will have the 5G related updates, both for SA and NSA, and if there are other open items that anyone wants to bring up, we can also do that if time remains. Suresh, why don't we start with you?
Yes, Ulas. Sure. We have a small good news on the 5G branch. In the unit test environment, Yogesh is able to crack up to PD session establishment, and he shared the PCAP on the channel. Vinay can test it once on his setup. Of course, there is one other issue that Vinay reported. Support for T3512 is not yet added on the code base because we are yet to handle the negative scenarios. Vinay, is that okay if we handle the T3512 somewhere in the month of June, or you want to test it much earlier?
No, it's already there in the Magma project permission. Just need to send it in the registration accept.
Yeah, basically, as part of the state machine, the Butler handler for this timer expiry is not yet plugged into the state machine. Likewise, many other timers are not plugged into the state machine. So if you need it on priority, we will target it for this sprint. Otherwise, we'll park it aside and handle it along with other timer related handlers on the state machine in one go in the month of June. That's the idea.
Let me go through the spec once again. If we test it with the real use.
Vinay, you are saying registration. You are saying registration request sent again. Security mode complete. Is that right?
Yeah, in the PCAP shared by.
Do you have the carry-on bit as set as 1?
Someone is having background noise. I think you have to go on mute.
Is it fine now?
Yeah.
I'll have to go through the PCAP again.
Fine.
It was
Vinay, I can barely hear you, Vinay. Can you speak up a little bit?
Okay, just give me a second. Am I audible now?
Yes, better.
Yeah. So the pickup shared by Yogesh, I have seen 2 gaps. So the registration request sent again in the security mode complete. That is one thing. The IE T3512 is missed in the registration accept. So, but I have the latest Magma 5G. So it's there I can see 3512IE in the registration accept.
Okay.
So why does the timer kick in this case?
It's a periodic registration timer.
It's not a
Okay.
mandatory. That's why it might have been missing in Magma 5G. And right now we are not supporting. So maybe in the next sprint, I don't know when 3512.
Yeah, why I'm pointing it, it's already there. Somewhere it missed. So it's not
Okay,
mandatory.
okay.
Means we can take it up later.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think there were a couple of timers which were having issues. I think we deliberately disabled some of the timers. There were some crashes here and there.
Okay.
So, we have to look at it as a holistic view. So, if you really, it's a blocker, then we'll fix it. If not, then we'll hold it. So, yeah, in my patch, there were some timers which we deliberately disabled.
So when
Yeah,
I think through that, we will discuss it tomorrow, and accordingly we'll give a priority to that.
yeah. I'll go through the spec once again.
Fine. All right. Let's discuss and give the appropriate priority to this particular item. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Right. I will go on to the Zen Hub. Ulas, the tasks that we targeted to complete, of those, most of them are finished and are moved to the done state. And 3 of these items are in the review state. This particular one has dependency with other PRs. That's the reason Yogesh is not able to raise a PR for this. Initial context setup request is carrying the registration complete now. It is available on the 5G branch. Correct me if I'm wrong, Yogesh. Did you commit it already in the 5G branch, or you are ready to commit this one?
Yeah.
6825.
Correct. So what's happening is we have to fix the previous things before we reach here. So in the latest code, I have taken this ICS also. So meaning if you see the PCAP, ICS is also there as part of the PCAP. So I have resolved the earlier dependency as well as I have taken the ICS also. So shall I raise a separate PR or shall I come as part of single PR? So that is the only question.
I mean, I prefer smaller PRs, of course, but I am a bit worried at this point. We have a bunch of pending PRs already raised, and each of these test cases, I am afraid we don't again have a single source of truth basically when we do this testing on different parts. So can we agree on basically, if the test cases are passing, if I see basically you are saying, okay, XYZ test is passing, it should be based on a particular build basically.
Yes.
But now we are still at the stage of someone takes the 5G branch and adds different combination of PRs and testing and saying this is passing, this is not passing. I mean, this is quite worrisome to me. So what I suggest is whatever is pending PR over there, if it has an issue, if it is fixed, let's merge it on 5G branch. It is not master branch anyhow. And let's iterate over it and keep adding stuff and get stabilized basically. And then when we are merging back to the master, we can raise the PRs in some more logical manner.
Yeah. So plus, I think what I was mentioning was, so there is a single patch on top of Magma 5G, which has all the changes. But only challenge is it will becoming little fat.
So this is what I am. Okay, so are we gonna ditch the current PRs? I mean, can we have a view of what the existing outstanding PRs now? I don't want to keep basically opening stale PRs. So Suresh, this goes to your end basically. So on the 5G channel, can you pin a message saying this thing just like we used to do on the AMF channel? These are the PRs being raised and needs to be merged in this particular order.
We'll do that, Ulas. And by end of this sprint, we will come out of this mess, whatever is there with the monolith, very large PRs. That problem will be gone by end of this sprint. I'll assure you on that.
Yeah. And there is also Vinay's PR as well. I mean, so is this going to be incorporated in this patch PR, or is it a standalone item? I also don't want people to generate codes that will not be used, basically.
So yeah, meaning that plus I think probably we will sync up with Vinay tomorrow and plan for it. I think the way I think is
I cannot hear you, Yogesh, at all.
Yogesh, there's a lot of echo on your voice. Echo or maybe
give me a second.
Yeah.
Yes,
just your microphone, or you're in a glass wall environment. Okay. Ulas, we'll take care of that and put an update on the Slack channel. What is the plan to adopt the identity request related fix that Vinay has brought in? And Ganesh, I has finished this one, rewrite of the UPF node installation message handling on SMF, means in the session D. I think he is planning to raise a PR for review today. And enforcement support for converged UPF. Pravina, I think this PR is ready for merge, right?
Yeah, this PR is, we address all the review comments, whatever Nick and Pravina has given. This is ready for, I think Pravina again.
So these are going to be merged on the master branch, yeah?
Yes, yes.
So on that, Yogesh, basically, you had a list of PRs to be cherry picked into Magma 5G branch.
Yeah, once it's done, then I have to do it last.
So yeah, I asked a question on the Slack channel. I mean, are you going to cherry pick those things backport to 5G branch, or shall I do it?
Yeah, so we never tried it. So
Yes.
maybe if you can show it once, and then we can take it from there. Like, I think
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So let me share with you the steps, basically. And
Yes.
if you have trouble with that, then let me know. Yeah, I have some back-to-back meetings, unfortunately. If we finish early today, maybe I can do it immediately after this meeting and share the steps with you. If not, it may lag a little bit. So these two PRs basic. So you are gonna merge two different PRs on the UPF, and one on the initialization and one on the enforcement, or is rewrite UPF node initialization? I mean that will be also merged on the master. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
This is
the
for
cost will
SLF.
be merged on the master. Yes, Ulas, it will merge onto the master.
Oh, okay.
And we have
All right, then,
left.
Suresh, what I suggest then, yeah, pin two different lists. One list is basically on the 5G branch, what PRs are raised and needs to be merged. If there are any stale PRs, close them so that we don't spend time on that. And if there are any PRs that needs to be that are merging on master and needs to be merged also on the 5G branch, just have a separate list for that also.
We will do that, Ulas.
And let's use the project-5G channel for that, since this is across all the functions.
Right. We'll do that, Ulas.
All right. So another item, sorry, Suresh, are you done with your updates?
Currently we have 11 issues in progress. Sprint 2 started from today. We have a few major items. One is the integration test scenarios. There are 15 test cases that will be needed in the month of June. For that, we are adding the test scenarios now. Balaji is working on that. That is one major item. And the other major item, yes, this one that Yogesh is looking after. The code from the integration node is to now put on the not put on, sorry, is to land on the Magma 5G branch. This is a work in progress. So once Vinay indicates the PDU session up to PDU session establishment is happening, he will target to merge most of the code onto Magma 5G branch. And in addition to that, Yogesh is targeting the PDU session release and UED registration. So if all these are happening by end of this sprint, plan is to land that code on the 5G branch, and in the month of June, we want to transition that code onto master branch. And in that process, we have to clean up a few things on the code in the Magma 5G branch. For that, we have a couple of PRs created, and we'll do the code cleanup. That's the plan. This is a major item, last 10 story points. And state machine related changes is another major item. Already work is started in the last sprint. This also we want to finish by end of this sprint, so that negative scenarios we can start adding from the next sprint. And this is another major issue, Ulas. For this, most of the code is added, and in a couple of functions, there are few gaps identified. Around 10 lines of code is to be added related to this issue we are targeting in this sprint. So these are the three major items, Ulas, in this sprint.
So once we are done with those, can we fairly say that we met the end of May deliverables?
Yes, Ulas. So these
so
ones.
someone will be comfortably clone the 5G branch and run their registration, and session establishment termination testing on that.
Yes, that's the plan.
Okay. All right, sounds good. The other item I wanted to discuss, I am and Ranjini basically, I mean, neither of us can compile the 5G branch, current 5G branch. I was able to compile it after I commented out a couple of lines in this, for the offending field, basically, that is supposed to be auto-generated. And it is auto-generated, actually. I can see it in the build directories. That structure is defined there. So how come it is creating an issue for us, but it is not creating for Redis's setup nor for the Wavelab setup? That is still a dilemma basically I'm trying to resolve. So are we sure that we are completely terminating the, destroying the VM and there is no remnant code? Or are we sure that we are on the exact same branch basically with no additional code? Yogesh, I guess this is a question more for you.
Yes, Ulas, I did it 2 times, fresh checkout with Vagrant freshly created. I couldn't
Yeah.
see this problem, but I remember, I think you posted this issue, I think sometimes back, where Ashish Prajapati said this was solved or something like that. I don't remember exactly. But
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. This is, I mean, at that time, I thought maybe it was a fluke on my end, basically. I didn't bother to do it again. But no, I mean, this is something that is definitely there. I am wondering if somehow the, but if there is an issue with the make files, how come, again, it is building on your side?
Yeah, Ulas,
Yeah.
so I think if the definition is there, then there is only one possibility that the class, maybe it's probably defined, or yes, somehow it's outside the scope, because of which it's not coming. But meaning that also we are defining it in the if-def C code, this particular file. So I couldn't find, maybe I'll just, just check with Prajapati if he has done something, if he can recall something. But meaning any specific way you are able to reproduce, because I think we have to reproduce it first in our setup. So as you mentioned, it is happening on the Mac site. Is it correct? Or
I mean, the CI/CD path also having the same issue. I assume they just use Debian VMs on that setup. I don't know, Tarek, do you have information about that? Probably not.
yeah, so I think one action item is I'll check Ashish if he can point out something. Second is reproduce it locally. So if you have anything,
I mean, I can reproduce it on my environment.
Yeah.
Very deterministic
It is
to know what,
consistently getting reproduced.
yeah.
Depending from Thursday.
Yeah.
Yes,
Meaning,
Ulas, I also
I
could not
couldn't-
see this issues. I'm also working on 5G.
Yeah, and Vinay doesn't see the issue as well. I mean, that is why I am a bit surprised, basically. So,
Yeah, Ulas, today morning also I turned on freshly.
Sorry, I was muted. Sorry, I wasn't following what the issue is exactly, Ulash.
so it is, when we clone the 5G branch and just to, bring up the Vagrant VM and do the make run, my setup fails. Ranjini setup is also failing, and CI/CD, whatever they are trying to build also there is also failing, as far as Tim is telling me. But yet neither Vinay nor Yogesh nor Prabina having any problems on their side.
Interesting. Okay, let me debug this with Tim today. So it's only on the 5G
It is
code.
on the 5G branch, and the offending field basic the declaration. I mean, if I comment out that, and there is another place where it is set. If I comment out these two parts, it builds on my setup as well. So it tells me that there should be some linking issue, probably something is broken maybe in the CMake file, but if it is broken, how come it is passing on the other environment is the issue.
Yeah. Okay, let's debug it offline today. Let's see.
Yeah.
Ulas, one question. When you clone the repo, you are on the master branch, right?
Basically, I checked out the 5G branch.
No, when you clone, initially you'll be on master, then you'll check out to.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I didn't remove any. I mean, I didn't do a fresh cloning basically on my end. I just basically, check out to the 5G branch.
Okay.
And destroyed my VM to the Vagrant app, and then do the make run basically.
Yeah, so same steps I followed today as well. So I'm able to compile and run the test cases also.
Yeah, Ullas, so are you using libvirt or VirtualBox when you're doing Vagrant up?
It is VirtualBox.
Okay. Yeah, then I think we are exactly same, I think. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, all the setup I have is the standard prerequisite setup basically that we have on the Magma 5G page, not 5G, I mean Magma page basically. All right, let's take it offline then.
Tariq, the history related to the issue you can see in the 5G AMF channel starting from here.
Yeah, sure. I'll have a look.
Yeah. Anything else from you, Ulas, or we can move on to?
Yeah, I mean, Vinay, do you want to give some update from your end as well?
Yeah, so I have raised a new PR for this skipping the identity procedure if SOP is received. So I tested with the NZAP tool. So the PR can be reviewed. So,
okay.
So I posted in the project file channel. So next, if as Yogesh is almost done with the ICS, if those changes can be merged, I can proceed with the rest of the testing and then fixes.
So the ICS related PR is, I mean, Yogesh, what is the time to be raised?
Yeah, I think that was the question we'll ask. So I have a big fat PR which has all the things that I can raise right up, meaning within a day or two. But if we want to make it small, then I think, maybe by this week I will raise it.
So let's do this thing. I mean, raise it. Let's merge it. Again, I mean, the 5G branch is not supposed to be the final thing. No, I mean, we still need to do code reviews, etc. when you raise pull request for the master branch.
Sure.
So raise it. I will just quickly go through it. If there is some immediate issues that I see, we can fix it. Otherwise,
sure.
Yeah, let's do the review basically. Rigorous review later on. Once the tests, all the tests are passing.
Yeah, Ullas, that will be great because this patch will be needed by other folks also to do their piece. So yeah, I'll do that probably by tomorrow after syncing with Win Evans.
Yeah, I mean the bar to merge on the 5G branch is very low. What I am looking for is it builds for everyone. Okay, and everyone can run tests against it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So I think we started introducing this unit test infra also. Of course, it is very 3 or 4 cases at the NGAP level, but we started adding those also, so that some basic minimum UT is always there. So the idea is probably by next couple of sprints we will do the AMF also, the AMF task UT also.
Okay. All right. Then please, yeah, raise that PR, and I guess if we can have some steady state by maybe tomorrow's stand-up meeting, that would be great.
Okay.
Oh, anything for me, Ulas?
No, I want to unblock you as quickly as possible, so that you can basically spend your time efficiently. Have you? I guess we can take offline on the Slack channel in terms of where you are in going through the code base, etc. If there is anything that
Yeah, sure.
you need to look at, we can discuss offline.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Yeah, let's jump to the 5G NSA update. Just a couple of notes from my end. We started testing option 3 and 3X last week on the TeraVM setup. And things are looking green at this point on these initial tests. And Mohit, basically, you were also successfully tested against the DS tester. The caveat was there is no G node B, it is all to do connectivities with the purely 4G. So anything additional updates, Mohit, you can also tell about them.
Yeah, sure. Hey everyone, am I audible?
Yes,
Hello?
you are.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, you are.
So carrying forward the work which we were doing from last week, I have finished off the code cleanup remarks which were left on the PR 5789. Wait just a second. And after that, I'll proceed to adding the logic in the subscriber DB about the NRS secondary RAT and dual registration 5G indicator. In the meantime, we were able, here at the OSA, we were able to test the standalone Magma VM with the DS tester, as you mentioned, and it worked with the basic uplink traffic and the basic attached test. So the next step is to have the TCP traffic, as you have requested last week. This is the from my end, and Lionel is also there on the call, and we had a discussion. He has also started migrating the free diameter version to the release 16, but it is from the OAI side. It does not impact the Magma SA as such.
Okay. Any questions on the NSA support from anyone? Yeah, these testings that we are doing are so for standalone Magma. The federated case will be also tested in the coming weeks. And we are not testing option 3A, but if there is time left in this quarter, we can also target for that as well. And if anyone wants to do some test drive, if anyone in the call has capability of testing this real connectivity with real RAN nodes, basically, and E node B, G node B, yeah, please ping me. I think even with the current master branch, we can do some real lab testing. All right, let's move to the open items. Since we have some time left, first I want to give opportunity to anyone who has some issue to discuss. Okay.
Hi, Ulash.
Yeah, hi, Vitaly.
Yeah, that's Vitaly. So I had some time to continue debugging Federation Gateway issue, and I collected logs and shared with Hunter, Oriole, and one more guy. So Michael Germano. So I hope we'll be able to get some results soon.
Okay. So this is the sync RPC issue. The orphan connections.
Yeah.
Or,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Vitaly. And Joy, I think he already closed the issue for Pixel 4 and iPhone stuff. He verified that on the latest, not latest, on the 1.5 release, basically, those phones are able to attach as expected. That is good news. Okay, if there are no other questions, then let me just go around the table and maybe ask a couple of folks in terms of where they are, what they are doing. Rashmi, do you want to give some update on the inbound roaming?
Yeah, Ulash. Yeah, right now we're done with the basic attach and detach with respect to the inbound roaming, and we're like facing issues with the paging, that network initiated service request procedure, and now the PR, we are raised a PR such that to handle the paging request for both the roaming and non-roaming UEs. So that PR, like I addressed the review comments. And another thing is like, since that whatever changes we did, like we decided to have a map of UE IP address and the key as a UE IP address and the value as the list of MCs. That map needs to be a stateless. That I'm currently working on.
Okay.
Yeah, and UE initiated service request that works fine.
Did we do the paging tests?
Yeah. On the like whatever PR we raised, like 6, 7, 8, 9, it works for both page roaming UEs and non-roaming UEs. The network initiated paging procedure.
Okay. And are you running the access gateway in bridge mode for those tests?
I didn't get
you know what for the paging test, are you running the access gateway in bridge mode? I mean, how do you test the downlink traffic and paging?
Okay, yeah, actually we tested in TerraVM. There were some test cases in order to test the roaming UEs for network initiated and UE initiated service request procedure. So we're not sure whether it is a bridge mode or non-bridge. Like, how do you get to know that? Because in TerraVM, like we just we only copied or replace the binary.
Yeah, I mean, on the NSA setup, basically for downlink traffic testing, what Arun was telling me that they cannot do it with NAT, with TerraVM. And they need to do it in bridge mode. For that reason, I was wondering, I mean, you should have the exact same issue if you are, because paging test needs to rely on the downlink traffic.
Right. Yeah. Downlink data was coming and it was triggering the paging indication, and that that paging indication we got in the SP gateway, and that triggered the paging request towards the eNodeB. But since it we're not sure whether it is a bridge mode or it could be a natted scenario, because in non-natted case we're facing an issue with this. The issue ID was 6508 that we fixed, but we could not we could not reproduce the same scenario in the non-natted case. But as part of that issue, we Praveen suggested to have a different interface for natted case and non-natted case. So locally we configured IPv4 address for the non-natted case and verified, but we could not really create the whole setup.
Okay. Thanks,
But
Rashmi.
yeah, in TerraVM, can we how do we know that whether it is in bridge mode or something in order to verify that part?
I mean, it is a configuration on the access gateway side, no? So, I mean, you can, on the orchestrator API, basically, you can get the configs basically, whether NAT is enabled or disabled.
Okay. Ultimately,
which bridge mode option is being used. So have you ever used the orchestrator API, or do you have access to that from your end? I mean, how do you utilize the TerraVM setup?
Yeah. Actually, I manually changed the gateway.m config where we have that parameter.
Okay.
Without, I didn't use the orchestrated related APIs, but I just manually changed it.
If you are modifying gateway.m config, aren't they being, I mean, they will be overwritten by the orchestrator.
Yeah.
But values were getting reflected.
I mean, they will get reflected initially when you restart the services.
Okay.
But then when the sync up happens with the orchestrator, they will be overwritten.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then I will verify through the orchestrator then.
Yeah, double check on that. I mean, make sure that I mean, if you are lucky, the test happens quickly before the overwrite happens. There won't be interference, but if the test, I mean, if you are unlucky and during the test an update happens from the orchestrator, then it will fail if you are really relying on a particular config.
Okay.
Yeah, and for the bridge mode, you probably need to, if you're going to do the full-fledged test, then in that case, you need to set up where the bridge mode is configured. So check with TerraVM team if they have bridged mode configuration on a setup.
Okay. Yeah.
Because if you don't have the right setup, the uplink bridge would not get the IP address, and the whole thing will again fail because it doesn't really have the IP address.
Okay. So can I contact the Ulrich?
This is not for Ulrich. This is actually, you need to coordinate it with the ITL team. Arun, you know, is your best friend on that front.
Okay.
Do you know Arun, no? Or shall I?
And no,
You in touch?
yeah, I'm not being in touch with Arun.
Okay, let me ping Oriol and Arun basically, so that and you so that you are all on the same page.
Fine.
All right. Let's move to Prithvi. Do you have any items to discuss or report?
I started working on service area restriction. I spent some time on brainstorming to understand the feature, and I started with the configuration, adding the configuration, that is the mapping of service area code to tracking area codes. So I started with that, and in the meantime, I had raised a PR to fix the MME crash issue that I was seeing in one of the test cases related to 3-4 write find timer expiry and MME restart. So yeah, I have received the internal review comments. So I thought, okay, I'll finish that and resume the service area restriction activity.
Yeah, I mean, the stability, code stability related issues are top priority. So,
Yeah.
you know, we I mean, yeah, work on the service area restriction on a best effort basis, please.
Yeah, sure.
And Murray also, I think, created another issue they were observing on the latest master. She was saying MME was crashing. I didn't have time to check that, but let me also include you in the loop.
Sure, yeah. Is there an issue created for this in the GitHub?
There is an issue, yes. Let me see. Issue 6956. Let me assign it to you.
Okay.
I see that Mari assigned it to herself, but it is about the NAS timer.
Okay. Okay, I'll take a look.
I think it is happening on one of the Spirant environment. Let me see. Yes. So this is happening during the scale test. So you may not able to maybe reproduce it on your front, but she attached the logs, etc.
Okay.
Let me know if you need anything additional.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll go through the logs.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, that's all from me.
All right. We have 10 minutes left. If there are no other questions or issues to be discussed, I want to give it back to everyone. All right. Going once, twice. Okay, sold. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Have a good week.